2016, we had a big hailstorm east of town here on June 9th, and the final planting date is June 10th, and a lot of inquiries, especially from the insurance agents, on do we have any hard data on soybean planting dates. And we didn't. There's a lot of data southeast North Dakota and central North Dakota, but here in the far north where soybeans are known, we didn't have that data, so that's why we started investigating that particular agronomic trait there. Well, originally they wanted soybeans to be planted up to 25 days after the final planting date, which is June 10th, which brought it out to into July, which, you know, just from everybody knows, practically speaking, that's just an impossibility this far north. So they wanted some more information to give information to the farmers, and then they did back that off a little bit to even 10 days after June 10th, if practical, but still June 20th here for soybeans is kind of a shaky deal. So we wanted to look at maturities and maturity groups especially to make sure farmers would be planting the right ones at that time. So we talked about the middle of May and went about every week, but 5 planting dates up to about June 20th, 24th. Mostly we've been focusing on the varieties, you know, adaptability to the varieties, working with the different companies and also the soybean breeders as he's developed some different varieties here in the northeast part of the state. Well, the first year we had a good trial, and we had 3 maturities, 0.5, 0.9, and 0.1. I guess the recommendation would be, if you're planting early, you can plant the later maturing varieties up here in the north. Early planting date, probably go 0.009 to 0.1, and that's up here right along the border. But if you're planting in June, you better stick to the 0.005, 0.007, somewhere in that range. This part of the state, there's a lot of canola. So in the past, we did do a rotation study with canola and soybeans because they both can have white mold. And we found that you can put canola after soybeans or soybeans after canola. It didn't really make any difference. White mold, some white mold, especially maybe along trees and things like that, or get a heavy stand, but maybe not as big an issue as like canola or dry beans. Insects in the northern part, we've had some issues with aphids in the past, but just pay attention to the monitoring from the entomology department at NDSU and be ready to spray if need be. Still recommending, for the most part, the farmers inoculate, and you know, after a few rotations of soybeans, you can maybe back off on that for a time or two, but for the most part now, suggesting all farmers still use inoculates up in this region.